those effects will be, but they will be extremely bad. I asked the top scientists on this several times, do we really have to get down to near zero? Can't we just, cut it in half or a quarter? And the answer is that until we get near to zero, the temperature will continue to rise. And so that's a big challenge. It's very different than saying, we're a 12-foot high truck trying to get under a 10-foot bridge and we can just sort of squeeze under. This is something that has to get to zero. Now, we put out a lot of carbon dioxide every year, over 26 billion tons. For each American, it's about 20 tons. For people in poor countries, it's less than 1 ton. It's an average about 5 tons for everyone on the planet. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to zero. It's been constantly going up. It's only various economic changes that have even flattened it at all. So we have to go from rapidly rising to falling and falling all the way to zero. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of...
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, giving all praise, glory, and honor to the true powers of heaven and earth, the most high power of Israel, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well with the correct doctrines and exhortations of the heavenly scriptures. Peace and salutations to you, hopeful elect Akim that's out there teaching his word in all truth and sincerity, and as well you few sincere Aqua for our sisters that come across these videos. Shalom. All right, real quick, I'm on my lunch break at the plantation, and I was meditating earlier this morning, all right, as it involves this topic of carbon footprint. Okay, now I'm not gonna say the word too much within a lesson. I'm just gonna call it carb. All right, just for the YouTube algorithm, because they're trying to catch you up on certain words or whatever. So we got to be more stealth with it. All right, and I know my last page, that was one of the strikes I got, was due to this topic that I'm going in now. All right, but as you just heard, Bill Snakes, all right, he pretty much was saying how they got to get the world's carb emissions down to near zero, all right, in order to prevent what they using as a fear tactic of global warming. Okay, which that's not a thing. All right, it's not a thing at all. That's just something that a ploy they're going to use ultimately for control. You see, so he spoke about the juice, that they was giving people, during the pandemic. All right, and they still are actually. All right, reproductive services, Planned Parenthood, all that. Okay, so but ultimately, man, they're gonna bring it back. This gonna come full circle. They say, I heard somebody say, and it's gonna be next year, early next year, where they start to really push the fear of global warming and how we gotta get our carb footprint, all right, reduced. So that's gonna lead to total complete control, man, and it factors in with the CBDC, all right, the central bank digital currency that they want to implement as well, which ultimately goes down into the charagma spoken of in Revelation 13th chapter, in which you can't buy or sell unless you have it. All right, so this is the plan, man. All right, total and complete control, and they doing this because they know that they got but a short time pursuing the Revelation 12 and 12. All right, he coming out with great wrath, and it's about to get ugly, man. All right, it's about to get real ugly out here, man. And Jake 2/3 of Israel is not prepared for what the fuck finna go down, man. All right, we got to really wrap our minds around the persecution. All right, the fact that they really pushing their agenda, which ultimately is the Lord's agenda. He's just using these devils to do it. But nonetheless, man, it's gonna be a time such as never was on the planet, man, like the scriptures say. All right, and they trying to move it into a let's get this. I got a term that I want to go into. All right, matter of fact, let me. All right, here you got this word technocracy.
Technocracy.
All right, and it says the government or control of a society or industry by an elite of technical experts. Okay, and we know that Bill Snakes, you know, he's been at the forefront of this whole thing, you know, as a puppet of the elites, you know, because he's a big tech guy, man. You know, he supposedly came over with the internet and, you know, and everything. So he knows a lot about tech, you know, and it's about data control ultimately, man. All right, they're going to use these different. The technology is stepping into the forefront. They trying to get rid of humans, pretty much, man. And also, merge human beings with technology, man. Called what's it called? Transhumanism. Okay, this whole agenda is stepping into the forefront, man. All right, they got these 5G towers they setting up all over the place. All right, so this is what it's coming down to, and you got that devil, Yuval Noah Harari. All right, who's the understudy of Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. He's the leader of that. All right, his understudy Yuval pretty much said, man, hey, he that controls the data is going to be the next rulers of the earth, pretty much. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that clip real quick. All right, here go the video right here. It says, will the future be human? Yuval Noah Harari. And it's crazy because when I went to and just look this up, all right, I kind of like fast forwarded right to the part that I want to get to. So let's just play it.
How exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future, not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world. In ancient times, land was the most important asset. And if too much land became concentrated in too few hands, humanity split into aristocrats and commoners. Then in the modern age, in the last 2 centuries, machinery replaced land as the most important asset. And if too many of the machines became concentrated in too few hands, humanity split into classes, into capitalists and proletariats. Now data is replacing machinery as the most important asset. And if too much of the data becomes concentrated in too few hands, humanity will split not into classes, it will split into species, into different species.
All right, let's just pause it right there. All right, now he's talking about that the data gets into too few hands. All right, whatever he said, you know, is split into species, whatever, you know. But that's what they're trying to do with this whole CBDC. All right, this is going to give them complete and total control. When you look at the guy, his name was Aaron Russo, who was an insider with, you know, the infamous Rockefeller family. And he told him, you know, David Rockefeller told him, he was like, look, hey, the future goal of the elites, man, is to, you know, is to CHIP everybody and have all the information, all the medical records, all the, you know, business transactions, monetary transactions, all on a central database, you know, that they can control. And if anybody buck up against what their agenda is, they can simply just cut off their CHIP, all right, or the MOTB. And thus having complete and total control, you'll be X'd out of society, all right? And they're setting up a system in place that mirrors that of China. We're going to get into that next, man, because China is leading the wave in this whole technocracy as of now, man. Because if the Lord was not to return, China would have you know, a good standing, for lack of better words, into becoming the new world leader, so to speak, you know, to lead the wave. But that's not going to be the case, man. The scriptures say in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? You know, so you got these different countries that want to be on top and control the data, but ultimately the Lord, like the scripture says, is going to laugh at them, at their efforts, man. I will get it, you know, but let's just keep going into you know, these, because also I was looking up earlier about let's just get it, what they're doing in China. All right, if it's still on my here we go. No, that ain't it. Let me see, because it should be on my playlist. All right, it's like it. 1 second. All right, here we go. Now all I typed in was China's carb credit system. All right, as you see that, you know, they got a whole credit system. You see right here, China's carb market explain, China's new carb admissions trading scheme explain, on and on and on, man. All right, how does China's social credit system work? All right, and in this system, I'm not gonna play the video because that's what, you know, it may produce a flag, you know, by bitch ass YouTube algorithm. But you know, pretty much, man, if you don't comply with their, you know, agenda there in China, all right, your credit score go down. Like certain things that you do, like if you're producing too much carbs, all right, that'll go against your credit. You see, you got, like, if you driving too much, you know, and putting carbs into the atmosphere, you know, that goes against your credit. If you anything that you do that has anything to do with carbs, man, which is crazy because carb you know, I'm just trying to say it like that. Well, let me just say it, man. Carbon, all right, is a vital, essential element that forms all life. Everything in nature has carbs in it, man. All right, has carbon in it. So if they talking about decreasing it, that's going into death. You know, you see, the Lord set it up a perfect way, man. All right, that the trees in itself absorb the carbon dioxide that get emitted, all right, and pushes out oxygen, all right. So it recycles, it gets recycled in the earth, man. So why is it that they want to do away with it? Really, it ain't got nothing to do with global warming or nothing like that. It's all about control. That's all this devil wants, man. You know. Now, as you see here, you know, you can go back and look this up for yourself. But pretty much, man, I got one precept that I, you know, was looking at earlier that we got to emphasize, knowing that all these things is coming down the pipe, you know. And that's let's get it. Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, man. Because we gotta be prepared, man, to pretty much lose everything. All right, to be X'd out the system, all right, and to be pilgrims in the earth, man. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and starting at verse 37. Is it? So like maybe I'm in the wrong chapter. I think it's the 16th chapter. So like yep. 2nd Ezra 16 and 37, it says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. All right, plagues are coming upon this modern day Egypt, man. All right, here in Babylon, America. Great plagues, the same type of plagues back in ancient world, but greater. All right, in this modern Egypt, because this is the new Egypt, man, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 8. All right, this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Okay, so hey, it says, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Right. So that's what is, our temptation is going to be likened unto, man. Birth pains upon a woman. All right. That intensifies until the baby ultimately is born, and it's like not a moment. All right. And that's how it's going to be with the plagues on this world, man. The Lord is going to keep on hammering this place, man, until it's destroyed. You see? And the finishing touch is going to be those nukes. All right. That ultimately represents that the baby being pushed all the way through, the mother screaming in agony and pain. All right. That's what's coming upon this place, man. Agony and pain, man. Destruction. All right. Then afterwards, you got the calm where the mother is holding the child and the pain starts to subside. And there's a joy from seeing the child in her arms. All right. So that's likened into the kingdom. So we gotta get to the through the bad part to get to the good, to get to the calm. Verse 39, it says, even so shall the plagues be not slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And that's spirit, Verse 40, it says, O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay, speaking about his people, man, the nation of Israel. All right, particularly the elect amongst the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and as well as Israelite foreigners scattered that may look like the other nations, man. This is for us, all right, to hear this word, to receive it, and do the works, man. All right, make you ready into the battle. That's what we're doing right now, spiritually speaking. All right, you can prep all you want to, we do a little prepping or whatever physically, but that ain't gonna save us, man. The main prepping is got to be that of the spirit. It says, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. Evils represent bad times, man. All right, so we got to be like pilgrims. Let's look at this word. Look at this word, pilgrim. All right, we're just gonna get into Google. Art, better yet, let's go to online Antimon. And I gotta make haste. I gotta get back on the job. So, let's see, pilgrim. It says pilgrim from the 12th century. Pilgrim, a person traveling to a holy place. It says as a penance or a discharge, someone vow or religious obligation or seeking a miracle or spiritual benefit. Hey, look at that. Just like when you see in that movie, the Book of Eli. All right. How, Denzel, his character, he was traveling to the east. All right. To Jerusalem. And he was on a pretty much on a holy mission, man. All right, and he couldn't turn to the left or to the right. He was just going east. He was like, man, I'm going east. They didn't say in the movie that they was talking about Jerusalem, but that's what he was talking about. And the book represented the scriptures, man. So that's us, man. Our mindset is going to be as a pilgrim, focusing on the east, man. Focusing on Jerusalem, focusing on the kingdom to come, man. All right. It says, seeking a miracle or spiritual benefit, because but that's all we gotta live by faith. The just shall live by faith, as it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, man. All right, that's all we're gonna have, man, is our faith in Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, man, to get us through, ultimately. Otherwise we just dead, man. All right, so it says also traveler, generally wayfarer, says pilgrim, crusader, foreigner, stranger. Point already made, pretty much, man. Let's go back to the scripture. All right, so verse 2nd Ezra 16 and 41, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. This got to be your mindset, man. All right, we buy and sell stuff now, man, but hey, we got to be as one that's going to lose all this shit, man. This is the mindset of a pilgrim. Pilgrims is just on a mission, man. On a wholly separate mission from the rest of this world. We ain't trying to hold on to none of this shit, man. Whatever we got to lose, our mindset got to be fuck it. All right? Count it all dung, as Paul said, man. That he may obtain the excellency of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. Excellency of the knowledge. All right? It says, And in this case, man, the excellency of the kingdom. All right. Verse 42, it says, he that occupieth merchandise, as he that will have no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as he that as if he shall not reap. So also he that planteth a vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes thereof. They that marry, as they shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. You know, marry meaning to, I believe in this sense, meaning to make mirth or joy, you know, because there's joy in your children, you know. And those that marry, and they can say marry again, as in marry a wife or a husband, you know, as you got to be as the widowers, you know, as if you're not going to be married, you know, because a widow is somebody who lost their partner, you know. So verse 45, it says, and therefore they that labor in vain, you know. So those that's laboring in this time, man, you know, storing up riches, as the scriptures say, you have stored up treasures for yourself in the last days. All right. We ain't supposed to be in that mind frame, man. Jake's still talking about a 401k and business plans down the future, talking years down the future. All right. Not understanding, man, what time we in, man. We in a time where shit is finna hit the fan, man. Okay. So this got to be our mindset. You know, scripture says, store up your treasures in heaven. All right. Not upon earth, where moth and rust does destroy and thieves break in and steal, roughly paraphrasing. All right. And also in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, all right, set your affections on things above, not on things on the earth. All right. But 2nd Ezra 16 and 46, it says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captive. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. Okay, so this is going to be what's going on in the earth, man. All right, people going to they're not going to reap the benefits of all this shit that they sowing right now, man. All right, all this shit is going to be for naught. All right, all your celebrities, they got all this shit that is going to be for naught, man. All right, the only thing, like we said earlier, man, is going to be your faith, your fear and faith in your how about me outside. You know, yeah, you know, you got a lot of jakes that's going to take the MARK, all right, of the beast, and you know. And along with the rest of the world, but hey, they're gonna be destroyed. You see, you may prolong your life for a little season, but ultimately you're gonna be destroyed, man. You just fuel for that nuclear fire, man, being stored up for that, or reserved for that, should I say? So hey, they gonna be out here breaking in people's homes. You know, when you read in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, it emphasizes this point, man, because it's gonna be a famine and lack of bread. Friends gonna become foes. All right. Matthew the 24th chapter says, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. So people gonna be turning on each other, man, and occupying their house, killing them, taking their children captive, doing whatever they want with them, like that, man. Verse 47, it says, and they that occupy merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities and their houses and their possessions and their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. All right. And that's why the Lord is so pissed off right now, man, because ain't nobody other than the hopeful elect, the elect, all right, is really hearkening unto, or should I say the elect and 1/3 women and children, all right, is the only ones hearkening to Yahweh Shmi Shai, man, and fearing the Lord, all right, and considering and turning from transgressions, man, you know, so we can appease the wrath of the Lord, man. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha of the 5th chapter, 5th verse, says, concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. All right, propitiation meaning to appease the wrath of the Most High, pretty much. You know, it says appease the wrath of someone or something, but in this case, it's Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai. All right, we can't be without fear of the Lord, adding sin unto sin, committing iniquity. That's when judgment comes, man. All right, we're supposed to be doing away with our sins and iniquity. All right, and leaning upon Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai unto salvation, man. All right, so hey, I gotta get back on the job. Hey, hopefully this exhortation was edifying to you, hopefully elect Akim, while Akwaf out there. Hey, we almost out this mug, man. All right, continue to hold fast, hold firm your faith, your fear and faith for Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai. All right, hold that fast, that which thou hast, man. I believe that's Revelation 3 and 11, if I'm not mistaken, or 3 and 10. You know, so hey, hold fast, die in integrity, man, and watch and pray. All right, because we almost out of here. So with that being said, shalom.